The most dangerous person in any room is not the loudest one. It's the one who watches quietly, the one who speaks last, the one whose stillness unsettles others. Power isn't always displayed. Sometimes it's contained. We live in a world addicted to noise. Opinions, reactions, endless motion. Everyone's trying to prove something. But the truth Machiavelli, Marcus Aurelius, and even Jung understood is that the strongest form of dominance comes not from action, but from controlled inaction. He who masters himself masters all. Paraphrased from Machiavelli's political writings. Today, we uncover why stillness is the ultimate power move, and how the wise throughout history have used quiet control to command fear, respect, and lasting influence. You don't need to be aggressive to dominate. You need to be unmoved. Stillness isn't laziness. The strategic restraint, the ability to pause to see 10 moves ahead. While others drown in impulse and emotion, that's what made Machiavelli feared. It's what made Marcus Aurelius timeless. And it's what modern people, rushing, scrolling, reacting, have forgotten. So let's explore the hidden power of stillness through 10 ruthless lessons of psychological control. Lesson 1: the still mind sees what others miss. Most people react instantly. They're emotionally hijacked by every insult, every post, every problem. But when you remain still, you rise above the noise. You begin to see patterns others can't. Machiavelli wrote that the prince who observes quietly learns the intentions of men by their smallest motions. He understood. Silence reveals truth. People expose themselves when you give them enough space. Think about it. The calm negotiator who speaks last. The boss who doesn't respond to provocation. The person who pauses before answering. They own the frame of the conversation. Stillness becomes your weapon. Your quiet creates discomfort in others, forcing them to reveal more than they should. Effective affirmation. My silence is not weakness. It's observation in motion. I let others speak and reveal their strategy. Lesson 2: emotional control is the real dominance. People think power is about aggression. It's not. It's about emotional neutrality. When you can stay calm under pressure, others lose their center trying to move you. Carl Jung once said, "The man who looks outward dreams. The man who looks inward awakens." That awakening, that inward control, is stillness in action. Picture 2 warriors. One screams, swings wildly, burns out fast. The other stands silent, breathing slow, watching, and strikes once when it matters. Which one wins? In leadership, relationships, or business, the person who stays emotionally composed controls the tempo of the exchange. That's why Machiavelli advised rulers to appear calm, even when chaos surrounded them. Because calmness projects authority. It makes people trust, fear, and follow you. Effective affirmation. I don't react, I respond. I don't chase. I attract through stillness. I move only when it matters. As we move forward, understand this. Stillness isn't passive. It's strategic pressure, like a coiled spring, waiting for the right moment to strike. The greatest minds of history mastered it. From the samurai who sat in silence before battle, to the CEOs who pause before replying, to the parents who command respect not through shouting, but through calm certainty. Lesson 3: the power of psychological gravity. People are drawn to stillness because it creates contrast. In a frantic world, calmness feels like control. Psychologists call this emotional gravity. The calmer you are, the more others orbit around your energy. Robert Greene wrote in the 48 Laws of Power, "The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish." Silence, therefore, becomes a mirror. It forces others to fill it with their own insecurity. You don't chase validation. You become the one people seek validation from. In meetings, arguments, or relationships, the still person dictates the emotional tone. Effective affirmation. I am the calm in the storm. My silence pulls others into my frame. I command attention without asking for it. Lesson 4: the art of delayed reaction. When something triggers you, pause. Don't give them what they want. The weak crave instant reaction. The wise delay. This pause creates psychological imbalance in others. They start to question your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions. And in that uncertainty, you gain power. Machiavelli advised princes to be a master of disguise, to never reveal emotion or intent too quickly. He knew the first to react is often the one to lose control. In arguments, silence is a mirror. In conflict, it's armor. And in strategy, it's a delay that confuses enemies. Effective affirmation. I pause before I move. My delay is my weapon. My silence unsettles, because it cannot be read. You're starting to see the pattern. Stillness isn't weakness, it's dominance cloaked in discipline. It's not the absence of action, but the mastery of timing. Lesson 5, the aura of control. Stillness radiates something words can't. It tells the world, I am unmoved. I am in command. Every powerful figure in history had it. From Julius Caesar walking through a riot without flinching, to modern leaders who never raise their voice, yet silence a room. This is called the aura of control, a psychological field created when others sense that your emotions are not for sale. When you remain still under pressure, you unconsciously communicate superiority. People feel it, they may not understand it, but they respect it. Robert Greene described this as commanding through absence. When you speak less, move less, and reveal less, you appear larger than life. Even Machiavelli said, it is not necessary to be loved, but to be feared in silence. He meant, respect earned through control lasts longer than affection earned through noise. Effective affirmation. My calmness is my crown. My composure commands the room before I speak. Lesson 6, the silent frame. In psychology, every interaction has a frame, the invisible boundary that decides who leads and who follows. Most people lose their frame instantly. They overreact, explain themselves, or try to prove their worth. But the wise? They stay still, because silence anchors the frame. Imagine two people in an argument. One gets louder, emotional, desperate. The other just looks expressionless. Soon, the loud one begins to shrink. They start to feel foolish, because the calm person's stillness says, I'm already in control. This is the silent frame, a form of dominance where your quiet energy dictates the emotional tone of everyone else. It's not intimidation, it's gravity. It's psychological weight. Effective affirmation. I hold the frame through stillness. I never compete for energy. I own it. Lesson 7, the law of emotional scarcity. What is rare becomes valuable. And in today's world, calmness is rare. People overshare, overreact, overexplain, leaving no mystery, no tension, no value. But the person who withholds emotion, who offers presence selectively, creates emotional scarcity. When others can't easily read you, they start to value your attention more. Your silence becomes a prize. Machiavelli advised princes to appear approachable, but remain inscrutable. He knew that mystery is a currency. Once people can predict you, they can control you. In psychology, this is called intermittent reward, the same principle that makes people addicted to uncertainty. Your emotional restraint turns others into seekers of your validation. Effective affirmation. My calmness is rare, that's why it has value. I am not easily moved. I am the one others chase. Lesson 8, the fear born of calm. It sounds paradoxical, but calmness can terrify people. Why? Because it removes predictability. Humans fear what they can't read. And when you remain still in conflict, people's imaginations fill the silence with power. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He wrote, men should either be treated generously or destroyed, for they will take small harms and seek revenge, but great ones they cannot. Stillness is that great harm. You don't fight back, you vanish emotionally. You become unreadable. That makes you dangerous. Stillness, used properly, becomes psychological warfare. It leaves others questioning. What is he thinking? Why isn't she reacting? And the unknown always breeds fear. Effective affirmation. My silence is unsettling, and that's power. I never reveal what I think. I let others reveal themselves. You're beginning to see the Machiavellian paradox. Stillness looks passive, but it dominates everything around it. While the world screams louder, the wise grow quieter and stronger. But there's more, because stillness isn't just a tactic. It's a full transformation of how you see and move through life. Lesson 9: The Fortress Mind. Machiavelli once wrote, "The greatest fortress is to be found in the love of the people. But for the truly wise, the fortress is within the self." The fortress mind is unshakable. It doesn't depend on praise, validation, or approval. It is built from solitude, reflection, and emotional control. When you learn to be still, you stop chasing energy and start conserving it. You stop needing to explain yourself because your results speak. And that inner quiet becomes your armor. Think of Marcus Aurelius writing his meditations alone in a war camp. He faced chaos, yet his mind stayed calm, his decisions measured, his presence steady. That's what stillness builds. An empire inside you that no external storm can conquer. Effective affirmation. My peace is my fortress. I am untouchable, not because I fight, but because I endure. Lesson 10: The Law of Invisible Moves. The greatest power moves are the ones nobody sees coming. Stillness conceals them. In chess, beginners move fast. Masters wait. They watch. They strike when the opponent exposes their impatience. In politics, in relationships, in life, you can do the same. The law of invisible moves is about acting beneath awareness. It's not deceit, it's patience in motion. While others show their cards, you wait behind a mask of calm. Machiavelli called it simulation, the art of appearing simple while thinking deeply. He wrote, "A prince must learn to be a great pretender and dissembler." In modern terms, that means, move quietly, don't announce, don't explain. Let your results speak louder than your emotions. Effective affirmation. My silence hides strategy. I move unseen, and that's why I win. Lesson 11: The Quiet Conquest. Not all victories are loud. In fact, the greatest ones rarely are. The quiet conquest is the art of influencing without resistance. You don't argue, you let people think your idea was theirs. You don't demand, you make them offer what you wanted. This is how powerful people control rooms without raising their voice. Their stillness radiates inevitability, as if they've already decided how things will end. Jung would call this the integration of the shadow, the moment when you stop chasing external dominance and internalize power instead. It's no longer about proving who you are. It's about being so secure in silence that no one's noise can shake you. Real-world example? Look at Warren Buffett. He sits in silence for hours, reading, observing, letting markets panic, then strikes once with precision. Quiet domination. No shouting. No show. Just strategic calm. Effective affirmation. My victories are silent, but absolute. I don't need to be seen. I need to be effective. Lesson 12: The Power of Inner Distance. Stillness gives you something most people never find. Inner distance. You stop confusing reaction with response. You begin to observe yourself, your impulses, your emotions, your ego. And when you can see your emotions instead of being them, you gain freedom. That's what Machiavelli admired in great rulers. Those who could act as if they felt nothing, even when burning inside. Not to be fake, but to stay strategic. Inner distance lets you handle betrayal without panic, loss without despair, and success without arrogance. In modern psychology, this is emotional regulation. But in ancient strategy, it was called divine detachment. Effective affirmation. I am aware, not reactive. My emotions serve me. They do not rule me. You now stand where few ever reach. A state of controlled power. The type of power that doesn't need permission or applause. The kind that silently bends the world toward your will. Stillness, you see, is not the absence of action. It's perfect alignment between intention and motion. Lesson 13: The Discipline of Detachment. Detachment isn't indifference. It's control. It's the ability to care deeply, without becoming dependent emotionally on outcomes. Stillness teaches you this. When you can stay centered while everything around you moves, you stop being ruled by external chaos. In Machiavelli's time, the most powerful rulers were those who could observe crisis without collapsing into it. They didn't chase, they waited. They didn't beg, they repositioned, because they understood. Emotional neediness is the enemy of power. True strength is to care selectively, to love, to build, to engage, but never to lose yourself in the process. Effective affirmation. I am detached, not cold. I give energy, but I never surrender control. Lesson 14, the echo of stillness. Every great leader, sage, and strategist leaves behind an echo, a calm presence that lingers, even when they're gone. That's the echo of stillness. It's the memory of control, of emotional gravity, of quiet authority that shapes how people remember you. When you live with inner stillness, you stop chasing attention and start commanding reverence. Think of historical figures like Marcus Aurelius, who led without rage, or Queen Elizabeth I, who reigned with composed cunning in a world ruled by men. Their stillness was not passive. It was psychological permanence. And when they were gone, their aura remained. That's the mark of the wise, to leave behind calmness in a world addicted to chaos. Effective affirmation. My calm leaves an imprint. Even in my absence, my presence remains. Lesson 15, the final law, mastery through restraint. Machiavelli taught rulers that restraint is the ultimate show of power, because those who can act but choose not to display strength that others can only imagine. Stillness, then, is not just about patience. It's about selection, knowing when not to speak, when not to fight, when not to react. That's what separates the wise from the impulsive. The world belongs to those who can sit in discomfort without breaking. In every negotiation, relationship, or challenge, there's a moment where your reaction decides your destiny. The weak rush to fill silence. The strong breathe, wait, and move precisely once. Effective affirmation. Restraint is my weapon. I do less and achieve more. I dominate quietly, because noise wastes energy. When you look back through history, from Machiavelli's courts in Florence, to the temples of Stoic Rome, to the boardrooms and battlefields of today, you'll find the same pattern. The loud conquer temporarily. The still conquer eternally, because chaos burns out. But calm, true, disciplined calm endures. Imagine this. You walk into a room. People glance, and something about you stills them. You don't speak first. You don't try to impress. You simply exist, composed, deliberate, aware. You listen more than you talk. You act less, but every move hits harder. You stop proving and start embodying. That is stillness. That is the hidden empire Machiavelli spoke of, where control is invisible but absolute. And the more you master it, the more the world bends quietly toward your energy. Because people sense truth. They feel power. And nothing feels stronger than a person who doesn't need to show it. Final affirmation. I move in silence. I lead without force. I master myself. And through that, I master the world. Let's summarize the 15 laws of stillness. The still mind sees what others miss. Emotional control is the real dominance, the power of psychological gravity, the art of delayed reaction, the aura of control, the silent frame, the law of emotional scarcity, the fear born of calm, the fortress mind, the law of invisible moves, the quiet conquest, the power of inner distance, the discipline of detachment, the echo of stillness, mastery through restraint. Each of these isn't a trick. It's a transformation. When you master stillness, you stop being part of the noise. You become the rhythm others follow. That's the secret Machiavelli left between the lines. That power isn't about being loud, but about being unmoved. So stay silent, stay deliberate, stay still, and watch the world start to move around you. He who conquers himself conquers the greatest kingdom of all. Inspired by Machiavelli and the Stoics.